YouTube familia. How are you doing? It's been a while, yes, I know, but same old story. I've been busy. But I decided I would hop on here real quick and do a quick little story time to keep you motivated, keep you going, keep you staying on course. But first things first, hope you guys are having an amazing summer so far. Like the year is halfway, almost over. It's crazy. But I digress. Okay, so story time. I went to one of my favorite watering holes, the same place that I met the 100-foot yacht guy. And if you want to know where it is in Miami Beach, feel free to send me a message on Patreon, patreon.com/TSEGP. It's only $1 a month to join. And it helps me with all my admin work since I do all of this for free. Okay, so story time. I went to one of my favorite watering holes here in Miami Beach. And this time I actually went with a friend of mine. We went for dinner. She was actually taking me out for my birthday because my birthday just passed. Ow. And I celebrated it in Europe, by the way, thanks to one of my daddies. Yay. Okay, back to the story. So she took me out for dinner, but I suggested we would go to that spot because she's also like me and she likes to freestyle. And I told her about that spot because I've also made money on that same spot. And I don't think I told this story here. I think I told it in Patreon, but I went with what we would call civilian girlfriend, which means she's not a hoe. I went with her and I made out like a bandit, and she was too busy worrying about how the guy looked and ended up missing out on easy money. Actually, if you want to listen to that story time, join the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/TSEGP. Okay, so I go to this watering hole with my girlfriend and we're sitting down. So I'm sitting down, my girlfriend is to the right of me, and this Russian girl is to the left of me. And if anybody knows about the Russian girls in Miami, they do not fuck around. And this lady, she was a little bit older, but drop dead gorgeous, like takes care of herself, skinny, you know, that look that all these men trip over themselves for. And while we're sitting there having a glass of wine and waiting for our dinner to arrive, this guy, and I'm only going to mention his race because it matters. He was a black guy, and he looked to be very young. Like, he looked like he was probably 25, new money. Like, he might sell drugs because he came in there with his water cash, doing the most, like, flexing a lot. The way the new dope boys act, like the ones that just started making money. That's how he was acting. So he came between me and the Russian girl, and he was like, "Do you mind if I order a drink?" Because there was no other seats available at the bar. And I'm like, "Sure, go ahead." And then he orders his drink, and then he starts talking to the Russian girl. I'm talking to my girlfriend. And then I forgot what happened, and we had a little bit of banter or whatever. His cousin was there with him and basically shitting on him, telling me not to talk to him, like, you know, like ragging on him the way some immature guys rag on each other. And then they had a dinner reservation. And as he was leaving to go to his reservation with his cousin, he pulls out what seemed to be about, I didn't really count it, and I never counted it, but keep listening. He pulled out what seemed to be around $200, and he sets it on the bar and tries to slide it over to the Russian girl and goes, "This is to buy you ladies a drink." And the Russian girl's like, "I don't need your money. I can buy my own drink." And I looked at this girl like, "Squeeze me? This is free money. What are you doing?" And I was like, I promptly turned to him and said, "It's okay. I will spend your money for you if she doesn't want to spend it." And he was very hurt. So he slides the money over to me, and I promptly took it and slid it onto my purse. I was going to give it all to the bartender anyway, because those are my people. And as I've told you in the past, you need to take care of the bar staff because they're the ones that are going to point you in the right direction. And in this particular case, these people now, I can ask them questions about patrons that come to the bar, so I'm not wasting my time. So I never counted it because I was just going to give it all to the bartender. But I'm very good with money, and I'm going to go ahead and say it was like around $200, maybe $250 max or $260 max, because it was all 20s. Anyways, he was very butthurt. He left. And me and my girlfriend are looking and just laughing because she literally could have just said thank you and moved on. Anyways, he was so hurt that he came back after, I guess, his dinner or whatever, because we were still there just chit-chatting, laughing, having a good time catching up. And then he was like, I forgot what he was trying to say, but he was drunk at this point too. And he was, I guess, just butthurt. And I was like, thank you so much for the drinks. He was like, you're welcome, boo. But I was really trying to give it to her. I was like, yeah, but she doesn't want you. So he was like, yeah, I know. It's your loss. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm dying laughing. I was like, but thanks, babe. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, I'm like, stroking his ego a little bit, but he was really hurt. And he like scurried out of there with his tail between his legs. But I say all this to say, for the black ladies that listen to this YouTube, and you know how there's always a conversation about, black men's preference and how they always go for non-black women. Look what happened, and I still managed to turn it in my favor. I did not even have any hard feelings. It didn't even faze me. But hey, I will spend your money all the same. Oh, and by the way, when he went away, she was like, oh, do you mind paying for my drink too? I was like, sure, girl. But in my mind, I'm like, bitch, you could have taken the money. You're the one that turned it down. But of course, I'm not, a bitch. So he basically paid for our dinner and our drinks. And then another guy that I had seen there before ended up paying for the rest of our stuff. So we did not spend any money that night, which was a good night in my book. Plus, I got to catch up with one of my friends. So it was all good all around. And I say all this to say, don't block your blessings. Even if you are not interested in the person. If a guy is leading with money, take his money. It doesn't mean you owe him anything, because you didn't ask for it. If he's offering to pay for shit, take it. But she was like, I don't need your money. I can pay for my own drinks. Yeah, it tickled me. Oh, and I also say this to say, once again, just because you're going out does not mean you're going to meet your whale. It doesn't always happen right away. For example, I met this other guy that I had met at that bar before. And we ended up hitting it off, flirting a little bit, blah, blah, blah. So that's a relationship that I can build upon. But the whole point of going out is to meet new people, socialize, interact, connect, network, and build long-term relationships. Obviously, short-term relationships can happen too, which is when you make money the same night. If that happens, then take it. If that's what the vibe is, then if you're a hoe too, don't do this as a civilian, please. But if that's what the vibe is, then go with the vibe out. But always keep in mind long-term, because relationships matter. Relationships could be the difference between you having resources at your disposal versus you feeling like you're in a scarcity situation and you don't have enough. And make friends with women too. I ended up chatting up with the Russian girl, which nothing really came of it, but she was friendly. I was friendly. I'll probably see her at that bar again, because she was definitely a hoe. He just wasn't her type. Another guy, a taller guy, came and sat with her and blah, 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 and she left with him. So if I know what I know about Russians, she definitely made some money off of him that night, because that was his type. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this story time and learned a thing or two. Please enjoy your summer. Go outside, network, and prosper. I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye!